Our story shall begin in just a moment.
There we go.
The saga continues.
All I saw was a chasing tail from the uncle.
Chasing tail, flight ladies, do not follow. And we start us off with an early Quake medallion. Interesting to see if what kind of use that'll fall into. Maybe potentially useful as we see, I think that was 3 crystals in the light world.
It was 3 crystals, definitely.
As to which one's 5 or 6, I'm not really sure.
I don't think either of them, I don't think any of them was.
Alright, so 3 standard crystals in the light world, lots of pendant possibilities in the dark world. Most of those pendants end in really not fun locations, and there we have the Cane of Samaria.
Good call.
Burn me, I am the witch.
Ooh, Fire Rod. That's a good start.
What do we get? An early Cane and an early Fire Rod, and we get the full magic refill since our starting item wasn't magic required, so we're going to make our way through this escape sequence pretty quickly, I'd imagine.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Sub 6, maybe. Oh, thanks.
It really depends on how much they want to spend on trying to find the bombs.
Oh, yes, trying to find the bombs. Sometimes you just can't find them. And those are always the worst.
It never feels good having to re-dive there.
Ooh. Got the blue mail.
Nice early mail upgrades, lots of early safety, and a couple useful early items, and there isn't going to be much standing between these runners and making their way through this escape sequence. Making our way, just our normal standards, our standard shenanigans here. Interesting to see the divergence in some runners deciding to use their cane while others deciding to make use of the Fire Rod.
That wasn't the same cart, was it? In the chest?
It'd be difficult to tell without one of them getting a heal. And a correction, thank you to our tracker, that is a green pendant in the Desert Palace, while regular crystals in Eastern End in the Tower of Hera.
Oh, okay. That was my fault then.
I
just got a quick glance at it and
Alright, so we're taking down our first mini-boss here in the Ball and Chain Guard, getting just a key for our troubles, and we're heading on deeper into the escape sequence. So far, a pretty stacked early escape. We'll still have to find that map somewhere along the line, but otherwise, great stuff.
Need a bomb, too.
Curious to see how much our runners decide, how many... They have to make sure to conserve their magic. There's at least one more small magic decanter on their way to the back of the escape sequence. Just have to weigh out the how much I want to farm guards and make sure that I can still take down the true first boss of The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, the rat that holds the key.
Absolutely, that rat could really troll some of these players.
Just runs around doing whatever it wants. Alright, so Ravis, GFE, data plot, all of them are on the front side, and Duran just a little bit behind, but not by too much. It's not much diversion here, or not much between these runners at this early juncture.
So far, pretty standard, but I think in the dark rooms here, I'm pretty sure they're probably going to go after some more rats and try to get that bomb drop.
Alright, and making our way through. Given the magic decanter, interesting decision. And Dataplat's going ahead and farming out some of these ropes, and there's a bomb drop for Dataplat.
Yes. And also Ravis got a bomb drop too.
Excellent. Interesting to see also just how many different arrow drops we found along the way here. Making our way back to the final chest here in a moment.
So far, a pretty safe seed. Got a couple of heart containers, and you got the blue mail.
It definitely feels good early side. Raven's just about making their way out. That's another heart container there for that final chest. We're going to make our way to the back. Durand and Data... So it looks like only Durand has not found a bomb as of yet. Right, and Dataplet's going to use their bomb.
Durand does have a bomb.
Just picked it up.
Hey, our first sword and cape.
And we find the map there, so there's one more thing to pick up on our way out of the sanctuary.
How do you feel about that early magic cape?
That does lead itself toward... I mean, we have a sword, we have a cape. Potential for an early Aga, which is always fun. We found two of the horsemen of the Agapocalypse. However, we still need to find a way up.
Hook shot in the sanctuary.
And now that puts that once we gain access to Death Mountain, that's quite a lot of items we have access to in this early game.
Absolutely. It's always exciting to get the hook shot. Traverse the world a little bit easier.
Yeah, we'll just see what that's done for us, yeah.
Yes. Alright, into the Lost Woods. Let's see what we have in here. Half magic. Not required, but always appreciated.
Oh, absolutely. Get us set up for some nice early... lots of early safety so far in this seed, I have to say.
Absolutely, especially with the fire rod. That half magic gives you more uses with it. Just a piece of heart in the well. I mean, not the well, I'm sorry.
The Thieves' Grotto?
These, yeah. I don't... Ooh. Alright, we're making our way back down here to Kakariko. Usually loaded with items.
I mean, we have already been so loaded so far. How much more can we pick up in this early Sphere Zero?
Boots. I'm calling it. Boots in Blind's Hut. Maybe the Moon Pearl. Ooh. Oh. Hello, Aga. Never mind.
Smells like Aga. We still haven't seen a Moon Pearl, so we're not haven't been able to take Aga off the table yet, but with that lamp and those gloves...
And the red mill.
So the Death Mountain play looking pretty... I imagine that's coming first before we're even thinking Aghanim at this point.
No.
But the plethora of early items definitely appreciated. No need to go to dark rooms. Full Death Mountain access so early.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps we're going to see Jet, or perhaps it's going to be something that's going to be bottlenecking us like all heck.
It's 100 rupees.
Alright, this is
more bombs, and a single arrow.
Well, there's that trolley unique item off the table, and great news though that we won't have to do much farming for money for the bottle vendor early on in this seed.
And repays you back with 20 rupees.
20% cash back. What a steal! Could you imagine getting that on a credit card?
It'd be very upsetting. And another piece of heart.
Lots of early level, lots of stacked items. Definitely feeling kind of red.
Absolutely.
Fire rod, lamp, King Samaria,
and the cape.
the hook shot, red mail, everything is red. Everything is red all the time. It's red day. And on a red rupee.
Hey, there we go.
Making our way down to the library. Let us see what we're going to dash our way through to learn today.
Is that ether?
It is indeed the ether medallion. No way of knowing if we need that quite yet, but that's already 2 of our coins located thus far.
I'm going to say nope to those bombs and probably going to do South Shore.
Or they could hit the mountain. I mean, there's so many options here. Lots of items early on available. Yeah. It looks like Ravis is going for the mountain play.
He sure is. I'm sorry, I forgot all about those gloves.
The hook shot, the lifts, the lamp. I mean, that's full logical access to the entirety of Death Mountain.
Oh, we have Dataplet doing the South Sword check.
Alright, so we're going to see a little bit of divergence in this early game. Nice to see which pays off. We have 3 of our runners heading up the mountain while Dataplet's taking the rather usual routing of going through the South Shore. Not the wrong play, because everyone will eventually make their way up there just to see who finds the right items first. I mean, it's so early in the game to really see what really pulls through.
Yep. Alright, what's the old man holding? Another piece of heart.
Thanks for the help, kid. I love ya.
Only just a little bit, though.
For those asking in chat, we have not yet seen Lumberjack Ledge. With those early Aga items, it's be interesting to see if there's anything in there, but we still have not found those boots, which are required to knock that tree over.
Yes. Alright, we got here Mini Mo Dorn Cave. Oh, takes a fall.
And thanks to those in chat, the GFE did check Lumberjack to find 300 rupees. Wasn't able to see a lot of it because the commentary stream's a little bit unstable for me, but we're going to keep going through. All right, Mini Moldon, Gabe, what you got for us?
50 rupees. There's the Moon Pearl. There it is.
Doesn't quite put the nail in the Aghanim coffin yet.
You still need the hammer.
Or at least the other lift upgrade.
Yes.
And there was something that requires a big red bomb there on that hint there.
There's a nice little bomb jump right there by Durand.
And there's some cash, and some cash requires a big red bomb, so the Pyramid Fairy not going to be seen in this seed.
Well, that's good information to know early.
It always feels good to find those long fetch quests spoiled for you early.
Well, Astrod Cave was pretty much a dud. So it looks like Death Mountain just may have been the right call.
And we still haven't seen a whole... I mean, that Moon Pearl has paid off, and so thus far I haven't seen anything else in the mountain here that really shows that it pays off, but there's still so many more checks to make.
Oh, there's Bombos.
Alright, so that's 3 coins in Vision, so now we won't have to worry about opening a dungeon, unless, of course, that Ether Medallion's required. And before that, we're going to have to find the boots.
Mm-hmm. Let's see the back of Shaharshralarsh. Ooh, Master Sword, bottle, and another piece of heart.
Well, finding that early Master Sword and another little Aghanim breadcrumb, but...
It's starting to lean that way. It's hard to tell, but it's getting closer and closer to that point.
We still have a few checks. We can still climb up the tower. We can't quite get to the Tower of Hera. We got Spiral Cave here. as well as Eastern Palace that are checkable, but I think Dataplet's reading the seed and heading up to our pal Aga.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with this decision.
It's an interesting gamble to just go ahead and I suppose after he found the Moon Probe running straight Aga before checking the mountain. Not the worst play ever. And Chad bringing up a good point. We have not even seen what is on Sick Kid because we found the bottle afterward. It'd be nice to have that. The fire out early will make quick work of the enemies here on the tower ascent.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Ravis is going through and making their way through the South Shore checks, and Durand and GFE will be right behind them momentarily.
Alright, let's see what we have. The chest. Oh, yeah, the key.
It has to be a key.
Yeah, it has to be a key.
Unfortunately, we're not playing Key Sanity as much as I love that. And then no one has fake flippered, so as of right now, aside from this Aghanim play that Dataplet is gambling, we have not seen the inside of Eastern Palace up to the big chest. We have not seen Agina's cave. We have not seen Sick Kid, and we have not seen King Zora.
But we were about ready to get the Sick Kid check on Durand's screen. And let's see what Sick Kid has to offer today. Ooh, it's giving you his heart. All of it.
Kalima! Kalima! And we got the hint tile on Dataplet's side, and unfortunately, sweet corn on pizza. Popular in Korea. I have not tried it myself, though. Doesn't sound appetizing, despite the fact that growing up in the Midwest, corn's in everything.
Yeah, I don't know about corn on pizza, huh? It's not my thing, but I'm not going to knock you if you like it.
And Dataplet is making their way through the Aghanim play. Hopefully the plan will pay off. So, chat, how do you think the blue ball count's gonna go there, David?
I'm gonna go with 5. 5 seems like a good number today.
I'll say if Aghanim is truly required, make that number high. Let's go 11.
There you go. Go big or go home. First one is always a blue ball. And there's one. Oh, 2.
Definitely those blue balls. Good to know that if this Aghanim is required, that this RNG is locked between all our runners. So unless you miss, everyone's going to see the exact same Aga fight.
And so far, we are up to 3.
And that is, of course, unless you die.
Alright, so 3 was the right number.
Alright, so what is on the other side of Aghanim for Dataplet?
So we got fake flippers on Ravis's side.
Let's see how this goes. With their moon pearl in hand, they will be able to check everything up there, and we see the 5-6 crystals in Swamp and Ice, and I saw a pendant on Skull Woods. I think the other pendant was in Misery Mire, but I could be wrong.
I'm not gonna lie, I totally missed the map check on that one.
The Skull and Mire pendants and Ice and Swamp 5-6, though we don't have to worry about that 5-6 because we know it's just cash and cash. Durand is making their way through Eastern Palace. And we find the swag net and bombs on Ravis' side through the waterfall ferry.
Alright, just a big fiver on Zora's Ledge. Not going to go for that one.
And despite having in logic, he does not have enough money to face King Zora.
Hold on, I will be right back. I have to let my cat in.
Okay, well, Cat's got a little randomizer too. Alright, and we have the catfish side up there. The catfish or data plet. I'm unfortunately a little bit behind. We're going to see what we have there. We've got ourselves just 3 artisanal bombs for the walk. Still have the pod area to check there on the data plet side.
Alright, I am back. I am so sorry for that.
That is alright.
Have I missed anything important yet?
It's hard for me to tell, but we did find the swag net. And Dataplet is on the way to the other side of the Dark World now, with their hookshot in hand. As Ravis is heading into Eastern Palace, I don't believe that paid off on anyone else's side. At this point, it's looking like that Aga play is correct, as Eastern Palace came up dead. Unless we see something from Agina. Durand has decided I'm not going to check, and they are going to head their way into Aghanim. That is, of course, King Zora or Agina holding onto our final key, but no one's going to check that. Dataplet is heading into Skullwoods.
Well, with the fire rod, makes sense.
Fire Rod and Master Sword. He'll be able to clear this dungeon without having to bat an eye. Unfortunately, it is a pendant, though. Interesting, Durand going through the Master Sword strats. Instead of just using a Fire Rod to one-shot those ball and chain guards. He just around just a small key in that big chest.
And there's the compass. I wonder if there's any progression in Agina's cave.
It's either Agina's cave or Zora would have been the only 2 locations we have not checked that could have prevented us from making the Aghanim play that Dataplet did and Durand is on their way to doing. Be curious to see if either of the last 2 runners decide to make those dives before going that way. They're both fairly close to Zora money, but still have a ways to go. It looks like
this was satisfying to have the Canis Samari in that room.
Anything to avoid having to play with Gibdos is something I would quite enjoy.
Oh, yes.
So it looks like both of our items are hidden deep in the back of Skull Woods, and Dataplet's going to go ahead and make that dive, despite it being the red pendant. Durand making their way up the tower ascent, as both our top runners are making their way through Eastern Palace to be, unfortunately, disappointed that this is not the answer to their problems.
Yeah, but it's good to get that out of the way, though. Having half magic in this Gibdo's Wallmaster room makes it so much easier.
Oh, absolutely. Going through, a lot of things are still alive here. We're still we still need absolute verification that this Aghanim play is correct. So it looks like Ravis is going ahead and making that dive. It looks like GFE is heading into the back of the Eastern Palace here to this money room. So they're going to have enough money that they want to knock out whether King Zora or Agina is holding on to that progression, because that's 504 rupees. That's enough.
It's a pretty solid Mothula fight by Dataplet. And rewarded with the book.
Unfortunately, he does not have the mirror here to be able to just instantly knock that pedestal off of the list of things to do, but
the book could be important.
Yeah, definitely. The fix for the logic has been put in, so there can now be progression on the tablets in a sorted seed, as well as it gives us access to Desert Palace early, another pendant that we have full access to clear. Of course, that of course depends on where the key layout goes, if those boots are indeed required.
Absolutely. But it'll also point them to the direction of Aghanis Cave. So who knows?
It looks like we found a hammer somewhere.
Oh.
I believe it was found on Dataplet's side.
It was. In Skullwood's pendant.
Skullwood's panning off. Now, it's still possible that the Aga wasn't required if the Titan's mitts were on Agina or King Zora. And it looks like GFE is about to make that, gonna go ahead and make those two checks here momentarily. They're heading over to Agina's cave now. Definitely kudos to Dataplet for reading the seed logic early. He'll be able to, once he gains access to the Titan's mitts, he'll be able to do all of Death Mountain in one go. Right, here's the Desert Ledge for GFE, just 20 rupees. He's heading back over to the Desert Hermit himself. Rave is heading into the Aga fight.
We'll be seeing a Thieves Town play on Dataplet soon.
He'll most likely clear through the Village of Outcasts and make their way into Thieves Town.
Mm-hmm.
There's a crystal, thankfully, this seed. Alright, GFE blowing up in the wall. Let's see what's inside. What is the Desert Hermit holding on to today? Just 3 bombs. Will he make his way up to Zora to put that last one out? And it looks like he's going to go ahead and probably going to set up the fake flipper to get up there.
It's looking that way.
So let's see. We'll pay attention to GFE to see if we can for sure say that Aghanim was indeed required for the seed. Duran's making their way through the South Shore now, finding their Moon Pearl. Interesting to have them that they ran to Aghanim before collecting that Moon Pearl at a mini Moldorm cave. Alright, Dataplet's making their way into Thieves Town. Pay attention on GFE's side, as that's going to be where our last thing that keeps us between to knowing if those this Aghanim player is required. If the King of All Scams is holding on to the Titan's mitts, that's time saved for GFE.
I'm saying it's Aghanim seed. King Zora's going to pay you back with the green rupee. I mean, I think that'd be pretty mean.
Alright, Duran having back home, realizing he can't go through any of those portals, has to save and quit back to the house and walk up to the Pyramid of Power in order to get into the Dark World. The GFE getting our answer here. King Zora, what you got?
Oop, big 20. So Aghanim was required this seed.
And GFE goes ahead and does a hard reset there to keep their money. So GFE will be heading to Aghanim momentarily, and kudos to Dataplan. He read the seed correctly. Aghanim 100% required.
I was too focused on GFE screen. I haven't seen anything on Dataplet's screen. But it looks like he hasn't really gotten anything.
I haven't seen anything coming up too big at this point.
Here we go to the infamous Hellway, which has always given me nightmares. Probably everybody else also. Just making it look easy. I'm gonna check this hint up here.
Alright, and what has the hint tile got for us today?
Oh.
Nothing, unfortunately.
Alright, so Durand is making a dip into, oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank right now.
That is the Palace of Darkness,
Palace of Darkness. Wow. There's Boots.
The Master Extortionist, Kiki the Monkey, and Thieves Town coming up fast. So that gives us access to our final medallion there. So we will not have to worry about these dungeons, and imagine Dataplet will hopefully make his way there if he finds a convenient time. Just so he never has to worry about which coin opens the door. No, he will. He's the only one that's not been up the mountain to find that Bombos medallion. So we're running fast through this. Dataplet's running fast. So far, seems to be making the right calls for this seed.
Absolutely.
Sometimes everything just comes up you. Still a long way to go in this seed. There's still a lot of items we're looking for. We'll still need to find those flippers. We won't need to find the flute, but we definitely will need to find the bow.
We will need to find the ice rod also.
Oh yes, everyone's favorite friend, the ice rod. Go ahead and we have ourselves a Blind the Thief fight on Dataplet's side. See how well they stick to the script.
So far, so good. Oh. Well, luckily they have red mail, so they can tank a few hits.
It makes this red fight relatively only a half heart of damage from the head, but always a full heart from the fireballs.
Oh, right. Yes, you're right.
And the Lampus and Blind's hideout we find out on the side of Durand as Revis takes a death. I don't think that may have been a death warp, though. I wasn't really sure. Yeah, that was a death warp. And here we're 33 minutes in. Dataplet's pulled our first crystal of the match. And they're out of Thieves Town, feeling pretty good about those boots. And it looks like we are indeed. It looks like we've got a potion glitch on the side of Durand, though I'm not sure if they have a potion or not. All I see is a B. And definitely a shout out to Alec Baldwin. Just the single dig this time to get through that dig game. Feels good.
I don't think I've ever seen... There's flippers. Stumpy Kid has flippers.
Water those indeed. We've got ourselves some water toes, and interesting to see those come up so early. There's so few things left to hide from this seed. Still need to find our bow and the ice rod, but otherwise, this pretty on. We're looking pretty good.
You're gonna get a hype cave check. You think it's gonna be hype or is it gonna be dud cave?
At this point, it's probably coming up dud because there isn't that much left for the seed to give us.
Our container, 10 arrows. Another heart container. Yeah, that was a dud. No doubt about it.
Unfortunate that that's not going to be that helpful for us. Alright, Dataplet, where are you heading to next? He's heading over toward the village from the south side. I imagine he's going to go pick up his ether medallion just to be safe. And so far, I'd imagine he's going to pick up this ether medallion, and then maybe he makes his way up into Death Mountain, as he's not been there yet, unlike the other runners. And he'll have access, with his hammer, he'll have access to the entire he'll have access to most of Death Mountain. He can't quite get to the dark side yet. But he will be able to head into the Tower of Hera, the first of our runners to do so.
Absolutely. He can also knock out Bonk Rocks on his way up to the mountain.
Bravis making their way through Thieves Town, Duran making their way up toward the Catfish to get the same bad news that GFV just got.
Oh, I must have missed that. That's when I walked out. I didn't know Catfish was checked.
It was only 3 bombs, unfortunately.
Oh.
Alright, and Dataplet's gonna go ahead and look. It looks like they're gonna go head up and check Lumberjack Ledge before they do so. It looks like they may. Well, they are gonna blind dive in and pull 300 rupees out, so they don't have to worry about money for the rest of this seed.
Oh, right, yeah, 3. Okay, I don't know. I was thinking it was just a big 20 there. That's my fault.
So he's gonna have money for the rest of this seed, and he's gonna head up the mountain and have a plethora of checks. Through. Unfortunately, all he's going to come up with, he'll only find his final coin on the way up, but then he'll have access to the Tower of Hera, which none of our runners had done so already. Alright, so we're making our way up the mountain. Dataplet getting their little bit of love from the old man. GFE making their way through Skullwoods. Will eventually find their hammer. Ravis making their way through Thieves Town. And Duran making their way through that. If you have not already, it's probably a good time while we're making through some checks. If you have not already given these runners a follow on Twitch, they deserve a little bit of your love and support. It doesn't seem like the command is coming up quite yet.
Absolutely, they're putting on a wonderful show tonight.
Okay, they're putting themselves out there for you, so at least you should show them a follow. Right, Dataplet making their way across the mountain here. And that's the front side of Skullwoods for GFE coming up dry. He's heading to the back where we know the true prizes are. Haven't seen that book pay off yet, but Dataplet will be able to check one of those locations. Ravis taking down their Blind the Thief here now. Quick and easy on-script fight on Ravis' side. Picks up their compass and their first crystal. Alright, so Dataplet has finished their way through Paradox Cave, probably going to see if... I'd imagine they're probably going to head to the Tower of Hera first before checking Spiral, so they don't have to climb the mountain another time. And anything you can do to save mountain climbs definitely feels good.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna check that floating island just to find a heart container. He's heading on over to the Tower of Hera. I imagine he'll probably check the ether tablet as well. Hold our sword aloft to the sky, pray to the Hylian gods, and today we are rewarded with what?
More explosives.
Lots of booms. Booms all the time. That must have been an altar to Din. We definitely needed more power.
The boom berries.
I'm making our way into the first part of the basement of the Tower of Hera, just a compass. And it looks like Durand has abandoned the backside of Skull Woods.
Oh no, he's missing out on the hammer.
Oh,
wait, there we go. Look at that hint tile. There's a unique item in Skull Woods.
It may take Ravis a while to find that, and that unique item hint is big. Unfortunately for Dataplet's side, that the hint he found here in Tower of Hera, not so much. Oh, he did get the hammer? Just didn't she? Ah, thank you. So Ravis did pick up the hammer, but he doesn't have the book, and there's no way of knowing if how much that's locking, because we could still find the flute mirror combination to find our way into the Tower of the Desert Palace, or we may not even need it at all. No, and there's a unique item in Thieves Town that hint on Dataplet's side. He's already holding on to it. Curious to see that book that may be time saved on Durand's side. We will find out.
Are we gonna?
It looks like Ravis is following their flippers, and they're heading through somewhere here.
Oh.
Oh, I see that they're heading over to the Palace of Darkness via this direction.
Oh, right. Okay.
As well, he'll be able to check a hint tile here, which most people don't know this one exists.
I have completely forgot about this hint tile.
We've got pedestal hype. Can you dig it? We have a shovel. And I missed that hint tile on Ravis' side.
Something about the magic mirror.
If someone could go back, if someone caught that hint tile. So the mirror is in Spike Cave. Thank you, chat, for catching up on that for us. So we are going to have to, and we do have access to that right now with the magic cape in hand. Ravis gets some really nice information through that hint tile that you don't normally see checked.
It's pretty convenient too, because he's right here. And with the hook shot, well.
So that'll be the mirror for Ravis. A nice little find from that hint tile you just don't see often checked. Curious to see how long it's going to take your other runners to find that way. It will be interesting to see if that shovel, that master shovel, comes into play.
There's silvers in Tower of Hera, in the basement.
Well, definitely worth the coffee break there. That's a much easier Ganon fight for him. Fortunately, has to walk out. He had way too many hearts and red mail to try to set up a death warp to get out of the Tower of Hera.
Nice item dash. Those are always fun to do.
Dataplet's gonna go ahead and over and check Spiral Cave. Alright, so two key
Ravis
pieces
is. Oh,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So, two key pieces of information. We'll see how long it takes our other runners to find that mirror hidden in Spike Cave, and will the Master Shovel really unlock something? We have no way of knowing for quite a while. And there's nothing that feels worse than seeing a fetch quest item hidden on the pedestal or in the Lumberjack Cave.
I was just going to point out that Ravis has taken the seed and going straight to Swamp Palace with that mirror.
With the mirror and the hookshot, it's an easy completable dungeon. Lots of items, a lot of item potential here. We have not seen a left side swamp hit as of yet, and there's not going to be any new hint tiles available to us from what I can see in the near future. So it may take Dataplex quite a while to find their way to Spike Cave. I don't foresee them going into the same into that same hint tile. You don't see that often checked. Duran making their blind the thief fight.
This is a very nice fight on Duran's side.
Nice and clean. Keep it on script. Always feels good. Alright, so looking at the so what that master so looking at what items are out there, as far as progression goes, the book, and the ice rod are both definitely potentially buried in that shovel spot behind the master shovel. So we have a lot of checks to go through as we get a free red potion from our fairies today. Definitely a nice pickup.
Absolutely. So far, Swamp Palace isn't amounting up to anything right now, but it's still early.
So looking at our items available to us, what plays are available? We can go through the Desert Palace is completable. Gullwoods is completable, which some of our runners can. Misery Mire is completable at this point, so we have access to that Master Shovel, as well as we're clearing Swamp Palace here, and we unfortunately do not have access to Ice Palace as of yet. And of course, we do need that mitts to get to Misery Mire. I apologize.
Yes, yes.
So it's the mitts, the bow, and the ice rod we're looking for go mode. Of course, we'll have to find the flute to get our way to the flute and the mitts to get our way to Mire. Still quite a few checks here, and I would imagine if something's going to pop up, it may be on Ravis's screen first. Though Dataplex is heading into the Bonk Rocks. Getting a fairy in a bottle for their trouble.
I'm thinking Ice Rod might be in the T-Rock.
Ice Rod on Laser Bridge, because of course it is.
Yep, why not?
How about Ice Rod and bow, just to be even more rude?
Gosh, that'd be terrible.
GFE making quick work of that blind fight.
Hey, whoa, flute! Flute in Swamp Palace.
We found the flute in Swamp Palace. We still need those Titan's mitts, though, to get our access to Misery Mire and, of course, Ganon himself. So left side swamp coming up nice today. Well, potentially. We'll see if that flute's actually locking something or not. He did also find the big key, so that's one more check that we can do. That's just the burrito, so we're going deeper toward Argus. Unfortunately, the mitts cannot be buried as you need the Titan's mitts in order to get into Misery Mire, which is the red pendant today.
Yes.
And the shovel is on the pedestal. Dataplet finally getting their confirmation that their early Aga call was correct, and they're going to be our first one to dip into Desert Palace, moving them up to 2 pendants when they complete this dungeon. They will have to make their way to Swamp first, and in order to do that, they need the mirror, which is hidden in Spike Cave.
You get the flute and the tempered sword in Swamp Palace.
This is a stacked swamp today.
Not too shabby.
Definitely will not complain about picking those 2 items up. GFE making their way through the south side of the Dark World as Dataplet finds the big key for Desert Palace. They're going deeper to see if they can find what they're looking for. So the big key is going forward is how long will it take our other 3 runners to find the mirror that Ravis found in Spike Cave via that really great hint pickup you don't often see. And Durand is making their way up to the Zora area. Meanwhile, Ravis, with his new tempered sword in hand, is making quick work of this Argus fight. Setting up for the quick kill here momentarily.
He cleaned that up real good. Oh, mushroom.
Who wants a fetch quest?
Yes.
And we have, it looks like we have Titan's Mitts in Desert.
Oh my gosh, Dataplet with just all the right plays today.
Now that comes up big. Ravis, so in order to gain access to Desert Palace as of right now. Actually, no. Ravis has to go back to kill Mothula to get the book to gain access to Desert Palace, which is where the Titan's Mitts are. So Ravis right now is off. He's got a potential last location to find out where things can be hiding. Meanwhile, our other 3 runners will have to make their way to Spike Cave to get to the magic mirror to even get their flute to get to Meyer potentially. I mean, we still don't know if that flute is going to pay off, but definitely that crystal will. To answer questions in chat, you need the flute, mitts, and mirror in order to get into Desert Palace if you don't have the book. And the mitts are inside Desert Palace, so that's not possible. So Dataplet, his reads on the seed have been coming up pretty good early on in this game, but that Spike Cave read's gonna take a long time as Ravis is picking up their Ether Medallion. Still don't know what. We still don't know which of any of the 3 coins are required as of yet. Dataplet making their way back toward the Land Molus fight. GFE has found their way into Desert. They'll be rewarded with their Titan's Mitts shortly, as Ravis looks like he's setting up for a magic bat check here.
That may be the first time I've seen someone use the cape. But that makes sense.
Magic, he's trying to find some way to quickly burn through his magic meter.
Absolutely.
And it takes quite a few shots. Alright, he's ready. Dataplet makes quick work of Manmos, gets his green pendant. You've woken me from my slumber. Today I curse thee with... Well, eventually, when he actually wakes up the bat. So run that back. You've woken me from my slumber. Today I will curse you with...
10 arrows. More stuff for you to carry.
Have some sticks. Alright, Dataplet, having completed their Desert Palace play, where are they heading next? They're heading toward the east side of the Light World. They have not yet been to the eastern area or the Palace of Darkness, so there's a lot of stuff. It looks like chat calling out a hint tile that I missed, that the Ice Rod is potentially in Turtle Rock. So that knocks that off the pedestal. But
oh wow, yeah, I totally missed that one myself.
But the bow definitely could be hiding behind our master shovel. That's yet to be seen.
Or it could be here at Witch's Hut.
So what's the growing price for drugs today in Hyrule?
Boom, piece of heart.
Just a little... Would you like some drugs? Just give me a little bit of love. Alright, so Dataplet is able to make their way onto the dark side of Death Mountain, which is none of our other runners have access to. With the Ice Rod hint in there, do you think he just goes ahead and clears Turtle Rock while he's up here?
Well, I mean, he has everything to full clear it, so yeah.
I mean, it does. I mean, Dataplet's been making what seems to be the right logical calls here. He made the early Aga dive. He went straight and cleared through the Skull Woods, which gave him 2 huge key items that opened up even more of the game.
Absolutely.
So you go through here, you do Super Bunny, you do Hookshot Cave, you walk into Turtle Rock, clear that out, and then hopefully you go over to Spike Cave and get the mirror. But that involves some save and quit shenanigans because he's already in the Dark World.
Yes.
But Spike Cave definitely needs to be on his list. He can't get into Turtle Rock this way, but he'll eventually make it there. He'll have to do with save and quits.
So far, ooh. Nothing in Hookshot Cave.
Alright, Dataplet, where are you heading next?
T-Rock.
I didn't realize he can't get in that way without the mirror, but he is going to check the medallion, at least.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
But interesting, he decides to check the medallion when he already has all 3 in his inventory.
Yeah, that... I don't know how I feel about that one.
Alright, Dataplet, and I guess the real quick... Alright. So I imagine he's probably heading over to Turtle Rock at this point. And Raven's picking up their 300 rupees from the Lumberjack Ledge. GFE heading into the Tower of Hera, and Durand seems to be figuring out what they want to do next. Appears we lost Durand for a moment, but we will continue on with the rest of the race here. GFE finding their early big key here in the Tower of Hera, thinking, oh right, I don't have to do the coffee break. Unfortunately, they'll have to if they want to get their silver arrows, which are in the basement.
Yep.
It looks like we've gotten Durand back. Raven's making their way through the top side of the dark world. Gonna go ahead and check out the graveyard ledge here, see what that's holding on to. Still looking for that bow. We know the ice rod is somewhere here in Turtle Rock, so Dataplet will have that in hand momentarily.
Yep. Oh, powder. We know that leads to
10 sticks.
There we go.
So the Lumberjack Ledge, the Graveyard Ledge, not required. Definitely a nice little bit of safety later on, though we're already stacked on safety's red mail, all the hearts we could ask for. Dataplet heading into Turtle Rock as GFE makes it past the bumper. He's heading up to everyone's favorite, Moldorm. See if that bow is hiding in here as well. It's definitely a potential for hanging out in Turtle Rock here. It's the only other item we're really looking for at this juncture. Alright, so so while he clears through Turtle Rock and we go through the other ones, make some recursive checks. Just give us a brief. Let's just go through a brief rundown of where this seed began over just about an hour ago. But we definitely had to do Aghanim for access to the Dark World. We had to cape out of the escape sequence. Basically every red item right away in the game. We had the Fire Rod, the Lamp, the Cane of Samaria, the Magic Cape, and one and 1 sword, so we wanted to go through Aghanim. After we made our way through there, with our hookshot in hand, we had to make our way over to Skull Woods to pick up the Book of Mudora, as well as the hammer to give us the rest of our access. The book opens up the Titan's Myths in Desert Palace, and that hammer in Spike Cave giving us the mirror to get to where we need to go.
And that sums it up.
Alright, so Durand is making their way back to Mothula, so they'll have their book in hand. Ravens is making their way up to Zora, which unfortunately isn't holding on to nothing but 20 rupees.
And GFE picks up his silvers.
So GFE's got the silvers in hand. Dataplet's making their way through Turtle Rock, where we know the Ice Rod is hiding. Revis unfortunately went into the back of Skull Woods and only decided to check the front chest and did not get the book off of Mothula. So that's making it cost him, as Durand's going to pick that up in just a moment. That's our only access to Desert Palace, where our Titan's Myths are hiding in the Vanilla Big Key location. And speaking of Vanilla Big Key locations, what's hanging out in Turtle Rocks? Just our compass.
So Ped is still not dead yet.
And then for those asking in chat, what can be on pedestal? Well, we know the pedestal is the shovel, but the shovel could be holding the bow.
Mm-hmm. And we have GFE.
And Durand has finally Durand is making their way to the back of Skull Woods, got their book and their hammer. To answer a question in the chat, pod has been checked and it came up with absolutely dry.
Absolutely, there's nothing of importance there.
Alright, GFE making their way through Super Bunny Cave here. For those asking in chat, Mimic Cave is not part of Turtle Rock. It has its own thing. Dataplet will not have there's our Ice Rod in there. Dataplet will not have access to Mimic Cave, and we have not seen any hint that says what's in there. And if that's holding the bow, that could be devastating for Dataplet, who's otherwise been playing this seed excellently. Just sometimes one of those times that randomizer just seems to be coming up their way, though. One thing to note, as the only one who had access to the Tempered Sword so far is Ravis, who got the mirror from Spike Cave, where he found that hint tile. It's not often checked on the west side of on the east side of Dark World. Dataplet has to head down and check Laser Bridge to pick up key and potentially something else.
300 rupees.
Cave.
There's the bow. Ice Rod and the bow in T-Rock.
So at this point, I could say that 1 hour, 3 minutes, that puts us in no mode.
Oh yeah, no mode. You're absolutely right.
Dataplet has to get to Spike Cave first before we can call this go mode for him.
Yes, completely forgot about that. I'm sorry.
So rest in peace, Pedestal. That's a vanilla bow for us, folks, and all Dataplet needs to do is make their way to Spike Cave, which, if they're reading the logic right, are checking off their times right, that's probably where they're heading next, and that sets up a really nice early set for Dataplet. Well done. As Ravis clears out the Tower of Hera, not finding what they need yet, they're going to head down and do their coffee break to pick up their silver arrows. GFE making their way through Turtle Rock, and they'll have their Ice Rod and bow in hand momentarily. And Dataplet choosing to go for the menu fight to try to speed it up as the hammer does Tempered Sword damage. Unfortunately, taking a few hits from Trinex there. Slowing it down, he has to wait to switch the menu because for some reason you can't menu during an explosion.
Menus are taking another hit.
I mean, I definitely say that menus are cool guys because they don't look at explosions. And Durand making their way up to Moldorm. Alright, that's the first phase of Trinex down for Dataplet. Phase 2 coming up, going for a few Master Sword swings before pulling out the hammer.
Half a heart.
Gonna have to be careful. I don't
Very
know
clutch.
if he has Fairy. Down goes Trinex. Well done by Dataplet. Gets a big 20 for their troubles. They got their crystal. And if you're a Dataplet fan, like I found myself to be at this point, get to Spike Cave, sir.
I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank right now. Misery Mire, was that a pendant or a crystal?
Misery Mire is the red pendant, and Dataplet is saving and quitting away from Turtle Rock. That's gonna put them away from where our mirror is hidden. The mirror, for those who did not know, is in Spike Cave, which we got a hint tile for, and what's referred to as the shopping mall. That hidden hint tile on the east side of the Dark World, by where you would find Ice Rod Cave in the Light World. But definitely cannot blame Dataplet for this because they haven't been to Eastern at all at this point. So they have so many more checks here than just Spike Cave. I take that back. They've at least been through Sahasrara. I don't know how much of Eastern Palace they've done. It unfortunately does open up the potential, which Cat brought up, of spending time in Ice Palace, which will be unnecessary. So looking at what we've got here, GFE is gonna just a few steps behind Dataplet. Just needs to find that mirror. We'll only need to find the mirror when they're done here, which we know is in Spike Cave. Ravis is the only one that has found that so far, but he has to go back to Skull Woods to pick up his book, as well as his hammer. Or excuse me, just his book. He did not get the book from Moth. Duran making through some more of the Dark World checks here. Curious to see how this scene will finally wrap up. It looks like Ravis is setting up a Houlihan here. Didn't quite get the setup quite right. GFE is just a moment behind. It's all about who will go to Spike Cave first. Definitely see how the rest of the sequence. The Cane of Berna is in the Palace of Darkness on Dataplet's side. Interesting to see where that goes. We know as of right now, well, it is technically required, because that's one of the two items we need to gain access to the laser bridge and the Spike Cave that we need. Ravis farming some money up there, so they have enough to go extort money from Kiki, or get extorted by Kiki the Monkey. Duran checking the Bombos tablet. Unfortunately, we know that's not going to be anything of use. Dataplet making their way through Eastern Palace and will come up dry, but what will happen, only time will tell. And Duran heading back. I think they're going to recheck some of Swamp, thinking they may potentially thinking they missed something. He may have missed. He may have only leads to wonder if a potential mismarked tracker of taking care of that moth may come back to bite Duran here. Dataplet making their way back to the Armos Knights there, silvers in hand, no problem. GFE going and taking care of their Trinex fight here, hammering out their differences, and makes quick work of that fight. Alright, the only question is, GFE, where are you going to head to next? Are you going to pull the same save and quit, or are you going to head over to Spike Cave, where you need to find that magic mirror to put yourself in go mode? See where this goes. Dataplet heading back to the Armos Knights. Blink and you'll miss this fight, folks. Silver's in hand. This is nothing of trivial. And GFE is heading towards Spike Cave here. And the reads were coming up Dataplet up until now, but GFE heading to Spike Cave. He's going to find his magic mirror and be rewarded with go mode. Alright, with one final dash to the spikes at just over 1 hour 11 minutes, GFE, just before 1 hour, no, 10 minutes, we have go mode for GFE. So all that's between GFE and the end of the seed now is a go mode pod, a go mode Eastern Palace they've already mostly cleared through, and a Swamp Palace they don't even have to touch the left side for. We do know the flute's on the left side of Swamp Palace, but we don't need that today. Alright, so Ravis is setting up their potion glitch, hoping to find their mirror hoping to find their book inside Palace of Darkness. We know, unfortunately for him, it's not there. GFE making their way over to the Palace of Darkness, and Dataplet, both of them heading over to Pod, though Dataplet having already cleared Eastern Palace is a little ahead on dungeon completions, but did not make that check over to Spike Cave, where the mirror is hiding. It has to be a pretty rude location if you're really thinking about wanting these runners to succeed quickly. It's just unfun for them to be there. See how this goes through the rest of this seed there. Finding the small key on that first side of Pod, so it's not bow-locked, so we're going to head on straight to the back, as quickly to the back as we can on these runner sides. Don't have to worry about a whole lot here, just need to get through to the back of this dungeon and take care of this boss. Ravis clearing through Palace of Darkness, hoping beyond all hope that his access to the Titansmiths are here. Unfortunately for him, not to be the case. There's the big key, though. So we do know that we will have to come into the dark room in order to find the big key to get back to the boss. Definitely been a tough seed for these guys. Unfortunately, the runner command is not functioning, because I definitely want you to give these guys a follow for putting themselves out there. Duran going ahead and taking care of their Argus fight now. So it looks like they found their mirror while I was paying attention to the right side of our screen here. So they've got their mushroom. We know there's not a whole lot there. Duran's slowly going to be catching up to our other runners here, though. They still have a lot between them and victory. They'll have to make their way up to Turtle Rock, which has the Ice Rod and the bow to set them up for go mode. So if you're a Duran fan, you want him to head up toward Turtle Rock in just a moment. GFE making the way to the back of the Palace of Darkness to find their big key shortly. Dataplet's still on the front side. Alright, Ravis goes ahead and takes the flute to Kakariko Village. I have to wonder if this is maybe the read where they're going to head back to the back of Skull Woods. They're making their way back to the Dark World portal. We'll see where that takes them. GFE got their big key in hand. They're going to mirror out and head back to the Helmasaur King. This is definitely one of those times where Randomizer is definitely randomizing some of these runners as There's a lot of items in kind of icky locations which could create potential for getting randoed, where Ravis is heading back to the Moth to pick up their book now, it would appear, as Dataplet will have to find their way to Spike Cave, where the mirror is hiding. It looks like Ravis is on the right path to fight a Moth. GFE heading back to the Helmosaur King. Dataplet picking up their big key, and they're going to head back to the Helmosaur King momentarily. It's definitely difficult to call anything truly a mistake when it comes to Randomizer, as it's, do I really want to finish this pendant dungeon? It's always a question of which side of the coin feels like it's going to be lucky, or which side is going to be the quote-unquote better option. Some of these reads, which are great reads in some seeds, are not so great in others. The game is randomized. Sometimes rando is just going to rando. Duran checking the graveyard ledge now as Ravis is dropping into their Moth fight and will be rewarded with the Book of Medora. GFE heading back to hammer out their differences with the Helmosaur King as Dataplet is making their way through the dark maze, trying to find the magic mirror. Definitely Dataplet going for the density play. GFE just deciding to check off the boxes while he's on the mountain. There's definitely no truly right or wrong way to make this call. It's all about just what happens to be right in this particular seed, and for some it came up great, and others not so much. I mean, Ravis made the early Spike Cave check off of the hint tile, and it came up big, but they missed the Book of Medora hiding, which that's just where it comes through. Sometimes decisions what seems like a great decision doesn't pay off in this seed, and that's just the unfortunate part of being it randomized. But still, execution coming up big. You definitely all these runners putting up a great show of execution here. As if there have been some tough fights, Dataplet just barely eking out the end of the Trinex fight on a half a heart. It is great executions on some of the the bomb jumps along the way and other things. So execution always comes up big in these races if you want to keep going. Alright, so we're going to go ahead on through the... so Dataplet's about to hammer out the differences of the Helmosaur King. GFE making their way back to the Armos Knights. Meanwhile, Ravis has used his first check on his book to burn down the tablet. He's now going to head into the Desert Palace and find his Titans Myths in just a moment. Duran saving quitting out of the Sanctuary. I'd imagine they're probably going to head up the mountain now. Well, actually, they're going to head on over to the village first. Alright, GFE making their way back to the Armos Knights, and we've got a Helmosaur King fight for Dataplet. It looks like Duran is going to go ahead and find out what the magic bat will curse them with today. Unfortunately, this time for them, it's just 10 arrows. And Dataplet making use of his Master Sword to increase the hammer hit range. Fortunately, it gets him immediately greeted with a fireball to slow down his fight just a little bit. If you blink, you'll miss this fight with the Armos Knights folks on GFE's side. Ravis is going to head on over to the right side and find their Titans Myths in just a moment. Both of those fights really well executed for on their side. Now all we've got to do is clear out Ice Palace for GFE, and he's heading up to Ganon. I'd imagine Dataplet's probably going to head over to Ice first and clear out the things they don't need to clear, unfortunately trying to find their mirror. So right now, it's if you're taking inventory, GFE looks to be in the lead on this race, as they have a go mode Ice Palace between them, and with the King of Samaria and the hookshot, this shouldn't take them too long. should definitely see a showcase of that infamous Ice Palace bomb jump that one of these days I definitely need to learn. Who wants to teach me? Alright, so Dataplet heading down toward the Ice Palace. GFE is gonna go take care of their swamp first. I almost forgot that he had not yet been to Swamp Palace, so he's gonna go ahead and go mode Swamp Palace while Dataplet is heading into Ice because he doesn't have access to Swamp because he needs to pull the mirror out that we know is in Spike Cave. He's the only one of our restream runners at this point who has not made their way there, despite having cleared through all the rest of the mountain and Turtle Rock, but definitely can't blame them for making the play as they went for item density over checking out the 2-minute check that leads to usually nothing. Dataplet making their way through Ice Palace. Checkerboard Cave, unfortunately coming up with just a big 20 on Ravis' side. Our first checks. I'll admit I did not even see the Meyer medallion on my side. Duran making their way through Desert Palace. Going to go ahead and knock this out now. Potentially thinking that they may have to find a bow on the pedestal. We know the bow is on Laser Bridge. Ravis is heading up toward Turtle Rock. They'll be rewarded with the Ice Rod and the bow. Well, yeah, he can check the dark sea. He's going to head and check out his Dark Mountain first with the mirror in hand to be able to head on over to Turtle Rock. Duran probably has most definitely been on the right side. I do believe I saw him go over there, so we just need to mark the Titan's mitts on Duran's tracker momentarily.
Am I back?
I think I can hear you now. Welcome back.
Oh my gosh, hey, I am so sorry. My computer decided to just update right in the middle of this.
I blame Ganon for Windows updates. He created them all.
Oh my gosh.
Dataplet puts off a really great showing of the Ice Palace bomb jump. Heading on over to try to clear more of these, get a few pen gators to kill.
Ooh.
Going for some bomb strats, which I definitely enjoy.
Oh yes, absolutely. And with the red mail, you can just tank some damage there.
Definitely not the most standard setup. I mean, I've always been a fan of using the hookshot to just one-shot those jerks.
Yes, they could be the worst sometimes. Okay, so sorry about that, chat. Let's say my computer decided to just update by itself.
Well, we'll just move our way on to that and focus on the excellent race we have at hand here. GFE finishing through Swamp Palace here. And then they'll have to get over to Ice Palace, and they're just go-moding through Swamp Palace in a go-mode Ice. Dataplet clearing their way through Ice, hoping that this is where the mirror is. We know, unfortunately, it's in Spike Cave. Ravis is finally opening up their access to Turtle Rock, where they will find their bow and Ice Rod inside.
Which will put Ravis into go mode. So, do you think Dataplet will make it to the Spike Cave? I'm not thinking so.
I have a feeling at this point that Dataplet is probably last locationing Spike Cave, and it won't be too much longer where that's going to be all that's left once they finish through Ice Palace. I mean, the early routing definitely came up Dataplet's side, but it didn't it's just one of those times where randomizer will randomizer, where you just, that one check you didn't make ends up changing the course of a race.
Absolutely. There's nothing he did wrong. I mean, not everybody just checks Spike Cave like that without the hint.
Yeah, I mean, and that hint was so deeply buried in just in that east side dark world location where the ice rod cave typically isn't a light world is a hint tile that you just don't see checked often. But Ravis made that interesting gamble and did check it, and it paid off for them for a while. But then they unfortunately just did not grab that book from the moth.
Oh, he never went back to Swamp?
For Dataplet's side?
Ravis.
No, he's cleared through Swamp Palace. He was the first one to pull the flute.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah,
So I'm trying to get myself, caught back up to this.
Yep, so he's going to clear through Turtle Rock here and find himself in go mode with the bow and ice rod. He'll have Eastern Palace, Palace of Darkness, and Ice Palace left after he goes through here.
Yes.
After DFE clears their way through Ice Palace here, they're going to be heading up to Ganon's Tower, while Dataplet has to make their way to Spike Cave after this before they can get into Swamp Palace. Still a lot of race here left, folks. I'm excited to see how the end of this goes. And it's also this just to remind you that these 4 runners are maybe the only ones featured, but there's over 20 other runners that are in this race as well that you can't see unless you're watching their individual streams. But I'm glad that you are here with me and David123 to see this amazing daily race here. Just a lot of fun.
Absolutely, and this is my first commentary, and it has been real fun doing it with you, man. I really appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate you hanging out with me, too, and I appreciate chat for being here with us tonight, and I definitely appreciate these 4 runners putting themselves out there for you and for all of us to enjoy this great showcase of the Link to the Past randomizer.
Let's not forget about our trackers.
Yeah, definitely a shout out to Relkin and Wolfman 2000, helping keep me in check. Alright, Duran back in Link's house. Hopefully they'll make their way up to Turtle Rock in just a moment. Where are they heading over? They maybe... I don't think they've been... They may not have been to the Palace of Darkness quite yet. Or are they gonna head into Ice Palace first?
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's not a wrong play to make, because they definitely have to clear through it. Unfortunately, it's going to send them into checks that are going to be a waste of their time. I mean, anything to try to save a mountain climb, it's just, where do you... He sees where potential time saves are. As also, there's the hint tiles in here, which could lead him to where the bow is. Unfortunately, he just got the hint tile for the things he already... that he did not know, or I think he decided to skip the left side of Swamp Palace, despite having completed it. Right, GFE is dropping their way into the Cold Stare fight.
And with Tempered Sword, see if you get him in the corner here. So far, got away from him a little bit. Nobody puts baby in the corner, but some people put Cold Stare there. Hey, pretty clean Cold Stare fight.
Alright, and down goes the Puffs, and that's 7 crystals for GFE. Do you know what that means, David?
There's a little game we like to play.
Absolutely. Now, unfortunately, since this isn't a tournament race, I don't have access to the bot. Alright, folks, anywhere between 1 and 22 locations in Ganon's Tower could be the big key. Get your guesses in chat, folks. You'll have until the GFE enters into Ganon's Tower. David123, where do you like to see the key?
We'll say, I believe it'd be the 17th chest.
I am also a fan of 17.
Alright, here we go.
But I'll give a secondary guess for the commentary things. How about 7?
That? I can very well see that. Alright, chat, get in your guesses, and may the best man win. Or woman. Well, we see Dataplet making the Swordsmith's check. Unfortunately for him, it's not really going to work out in his favor.
This will be our first check of the Dwarven Breadsmiths. Unfortunately, it's nothing we need. We know where everything's at in this seed. They are matchmakers, because all they're trying to do is help you make a little bit of love. All right, the crystals are spinning. Get the last chances are in. We're in the Ganon's tower. Where's that big key?
Be interested to see if he full clears left side.
So we've got a left side start here on GFE's side. Our first location, just a 5er. It looks like a second for Dark Magician. Ravis has taken care of their Trinex fight. They found themselves in go mode, but there's a lot of dungeon between them and the rest of it.
Whoa. Big key already.
Is that a number 3?
That was 3.
All right, folks. And there was not a guess of 3 until after the guess ended. So we're going to give that one to Super Malmo World with a guess of 4. So we got two that are really close. Super Malmo World with a guess of 4 and Humble Talent with a guess of 2.
It's always a thing of beauty to see runners just plow through Ganon's Tower.
Alright, so now we're heading up to the Tower Ascent on GFE's side. Just a little bit of execution between them and the end of this race. Now note that these 4 competitors are not the only ones out there. There are about 20 other runners in this daily race here. I will hold, and if there are any finishes, I will hold them until at least one of our runners finishes here on stream. I definitely have to agree with chat there, folks. This was a really rude mirror location being hidden in Spike Cave.
Absolutely. This it seemed like a race that Data Plant should have won, but unfortunately, just didn't go to Spike Cave, and it cost him the race.
I mean, sometimes randomizer will randomizer.
Absolutely.
Ravis was set up for a nice early bit of routing, but just deciding not to kill the moth and pick up the book. Came back to burden, perhaps a miscount on Skullwoods. We'll have to ask them if they come in for an interview after this restream. GFE making their way up to Landmo 2 now.
Ooh.
Just a great bit of execution on the way up there.
Misses the first cycle, but gets it the second. Not too bad at all.
No, absolutely. So down goes Landmo 2, and we're moving further up the tower. And for here, just a little bit of satisfaction as we one-shot all of those whiz robes. I found myself playing through Zelda 1 the other night, just remembering how much more rude those whiz robes are in that game compared to this one.
Oh, thankfully in this one you don't run into them that much.
And there aren't any of the blue whiz robes that not only teleport and shoot, but run around.
Hide behind walls and just do whatever they want.
All right, Durand has taken down Cold Stare. A well-executed fight on their end. Ravis is heading down to face Cold Stare as well. Dataplet finally making their way into Swamp Palace. Just a go mode swamp for them. So they'll be in Ganon's Tower real quickly, though. They see how their Ganon's Tower routing comes up. Interesting, GFE burning through their magic. I mean, there is a full magic
decanter. I believe they have a potion. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's a container here.
He's setting up a fake powder glitch on the anti-fairies. What a great little bit of game mechanics from GFE.
Oh man,
getting the fake powder on the 2 anti-fairies and making use of that full magic decanter afterward. Just 3
Now it just needs to hover. Go ahead, just hover. You killed Modem, just hover.
I think at this point there's no reason to hover over that gap. When after you've cleared through, well, he just misses that hookshot clip. And looks like Durand is running toward the Flute and Swamp Palace. Did they find they should have gotten the ice rod and turtle rock hint? You'd imagine potentially you go through there first, but you know, sometimes you have to wonder. Of course, I did catch. I mean, all right. So here we have GFE taking their second required geometry test, getting one shot on that first cycle, setting up for a great. Ooh, look at that! Just a double there. He unfortunately gets a blue ball. 3 more hits to go. This is a nice triple setup, and he gets it.
Oh, yeah, he killed it.
I think that first cycle he didn't get the double because of iframes. So down goes Aghanim. The king of all bacon is loose, folks. We're heading down to a Ganon fight in just a moment.
That's right. You follow that bat.
And what a strike a pose. You're heading down to Ganon. All right, and we are dropping on down to Ganon. So what's our flavor text today? Slug facts, courtesy of Ganon.
All right.
Tempered sword in hand. It shouldn't be too much longer till we find our way into phase 2. And here we go.
Pulls out the cape. There we go. Yep. Using cape strats. With this, with half magic, not really a bad call.
No, definitely not. Why risk taking a bat? And he also should have access to a red potion as well. I believe he was the one that pulled the free red potion out of the ferry. There it is for confirmation. He's got his silvers out, folks. We're into phase 3.
Right now.
Now, if only he would just hold still, we can find our way into phase 4. And there's the final swipe. Did we find the arrows in the Tower of Hera? You bet. Here,
nice
have one.
Glitch. And should be a double. There we go. And boom. Down goes Ganon.
And down goes Ganon for GFE, folks. Get your GGs in chat. Just a 1x3 bridge is all that separates GFE and the finish of this seed. A sword held to the sky, execution holding him greatly. We've got ourselves the end of the first finisher of our restream, folks. I can report that GFE finished this race in 5th place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 58 seconds. Running through the winners, Supernin Taylor finished this race in 1st place with 1:28.18. A new PB for them, great by almost 10 minutes. Great job. Second place finisher, awesome. BBB Kermit with 1:34.33. 3rd place goes to Cassidy Moan with 1:35.41. Matt 78.98 finishing in 4th with 1:36.13. And then after just 20 seconds or so after GFE was Korek in 6th with 1:37.19. We have been focused in we have now been joined by GFE in chat. GG's to you.
Oh man, thanks guys. That was an interesting seed.
That definitely was an interesting seed. I guess what I'll start with is, what did you think of that mirror location? 78.98 finishing in 4th.
Honestly, I was thrilled. That would have been so easy to just quit after Turtle Rock, because Spot Cave's kind of out of the way, and I just got the bow. I didn't want to risk it when I saw that.
Echo from you, GFE. We have now been joined by GFE in chat. GG's to you.
Oh
Where's
man,
that coming
thanks
from?
guys. That was an interesting seed. Hey, is that better?
Definitely was an interesting seed. I guess what I'll start with is, what did you think of that mirror location?
Honestly, I was thrilled. That would have been so easy to just.
I apologize, folks. We don't know where that's coming from.
I just got the bow.
I have no idea.
I didn't want to risk it when I saw that.
I'm getting an echo from you, GFE.
Oh, sorry, man. Let me see.
Oh.
All right, well, it's apologies here, folks. We have some interesting little bit of an echo here, but we're not really sure where that's coming from. But
I thought I was hearing an echo.
I think we've got it. I think we've got that now. So I apologize, GFE. So what did you think of that mirror location?
Okay. Honestly, that was just thrilling. Just wanted to quit, save and quit after T-Rock and just head straight for pod. I didn't want to risk missing something there, and when I found it, those were happy slashes, as you can imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely, it was tough.
And I just have to comment, Math Girl rolled this seed, and y'all saw what was on PED.
The Master Shovel, unfortunately
Yes.
for those hyped in chat, didn't come in to pay for the payoff, but I definitely enjoyed it. Overall, though, I definitely have to compliment you on your execution. That little bit of genius at the end there, using the fake powder on the anti-fairies to get the heart refill before you hit Ganon. I loved that.
Yeah, when I got that mushroom off Argus, I was like, well, I guess I can use this to fake powder later if I need to. I knew I had a red potion, but I couldn't remember if I had anything else or not.
Unfortunately, Duran making the just calling on to what's going on in chat. Dataplet making their way up the mountain, or up the tower. Duran, unfortunately, following the breadcrumb to go into Misery Mire, which we know is completely unnecessary, but that's just a seed that's has not been kind to some of our runners, definitely.
So one question I have to ask.
Okay.
Was there went into the back of Skull Woods, found the hammer, and then just left?
Unfortunately, that did happen to Ravis.
Oh
Yes.
man, that's bad.
Yeah, so definitely what I'm going to say or ask you is, this definitely points to a seed where being randoed can happen, where just leaving a location to last can really come back to burn you, as that mirror location definitely could have on your side.
Oh yeah, I could see that mirror burning anyone.
Now, go ahead.
That cave is just such a, out of the way location. It takes time, magic, and you just usually don't want to deal with it. This seed, you had to. Oh, also, did anyone ever find the flute?
The flute was in Left Side Swamp.
Oh man, that's
which is
even
why
worse.
Durand is finding themselves here. They're trying to avoid Ice Rodless Turtle Rock, though there was the Ice Rod hint in Swamp Palace, I believe.
Yeah, the Ice Rod hint was not swamp. I wasn't happy with the swamp hint. The swamp hint to the hammer.
Oh, the Ice Rod was in Desert Palace.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you
That's
for chat.
where the Ice Rod hint was.
I
Yeah,
had a
that felt
question,
good.
but I lost it at this point. Definitely points to a seed where just items were buried in the wrong location. I guess what I was going to bring up interesting is, did you know that there was a mirror hint in this seed?
Really? Where was that at? Was it
mirror?
the pod hint?
No, it was actually in the Dark World Ice Rod Cave area.
Who went and
Yeah.
checked that?
Ravis
Yeah,
actually
nobody
swam
checks
his way
it.
over. Ravis swam over to it, which gave
Okay.
them a really nice early bit of that mirror. Unfortunately, just leaving that book came back to burn them. But they're in Ganon's Tower now. Dataplet just took down Moldorm too. They're going to be heading on to the Ganon fight. The GFE, while we got you here solo, anything else coming up the pipeline for you?
I don't know if anybody's been keeping up with the Flando tourney, but the brackets and that'll be starting soon, so that's going to get interesting. Bracket section.
And definitely I'm hoping to lend my voice to that tournament as well. I'm excited to see it. I guess I'll ask a question for chat. Why did you choose to, Frostbite asking why you chose to full clear before taking that Agadive?
Because I'm stubborn and I don't like Aga 1. If I would have just skipped Agana and Zora like I should have, good amount of time.
Well, that definitely could have proven, it could have, I mean, Superman Taylor's time was nuts. I mean, you could have put yourself up into that area with that save, but it's just one of those times is when is the right call, when is the wrong call. Dataplet did make that Aga dive almost instantly after finding the, like he did Kakariko Village and through the South Shore and just said, you know what, I got Aga, let's go. While you, like the other riders, decided to make all the other checks before you reached that point. A 130 out of 216 on a rather tough seed. GG's.
Yeah, thanks, man. I honestly considered doing Aga, obviously. I just felt that I'd already put it off so long that I had to gamble the rest.
Well, GFE, just want to say GG, you did great, and you know, can't wait to see what the future holds.
Definitely be looking out for you in that Plano tournament. Dataplet is heading their facing off with their big pig. Stay tuned here on Speed Gaming come next month, and that's where you'll be able to see a lot of that Plano tournament.
I'll let you guys get back to commentating what's on here. I'll just kind of go silent, but thank you for the commentary. Thanks to the trackers and the Speed Gaming crew as always. Thanks, guys.
Thank you
so much for joining us, GFE. All right, Dataplet is into the second phase of Ganon, setting themselves up for those Master Sword spins. He didn't, because he absolute go-moded Swamp Palace, he did not pick up that Tempered Sword. As we just had, it looks like we just had a pedestal pull on Duran's side. So we're gonna see what is in that shovel spot.
Butter. I'm guessing butter.
Meanwhile, Dataplet is heading into the final phase of their Ganon fight. Puts the arrow there. All right. So what does the Master Shovel hold? The Master Shovel is just 10 arrows. Press F to press X. And
Wonder where butter was.
I guess we'll never know. It's probably buried somewhere higher up in Ganon's tower. Right, and that is the final silver arrow for Dataplet. Get your GGs in chat, folks. Just a 1x3 bridge between them and the end of their seed. What a well-executed and tough seed by Dataplet here. Get your GGs out there, folks, as I can say that Dataplet has finished in 14th place with an SRL time of 1 hour, 47 minutes, and 40 seconds. Backing up to those we did not call out, after Korek's finish, we had Malagord in 7th with 140.49. And then we had TJ Maelstrom in 8th place with 143.19, improving their PB. Well done. Pink Kitty Rose in 9th place is 143.27. Bonta in 10th in 146.32. Phantom Ryu with a 147 flat. In 11th, Shiva Hayes in 12th with 147.12. Niterific in 13th with 147.13. Then we hit our Dataplet. After that, we had Dark Kobold finishing in 15th with 147.57, and then Trinex in 16th with 148.35. And we should hopefully be joined by Dataplet in here shortly. Ravis is about to enter their Ganon fight. They're off for a fight. With the king of all bacon himself.
It's interesting, Durand is going for the purple chest. I don't think we've seen this.
This is a check we did not get.
Butter? Oh, big 20. Never mind.
Well, Gary gives you a tip for bringing back his lunchbox as Ravis is making quick work of Ganon here. He's got to be careful though. He's down to 5 hearts, but with red mail, make that 3 hearts. I don't know if he has any potions or safeties left.
He has I believe he has a red potion.
He has the magic.
Oh wait, never mind.
He's got his silver arrows out. We're into the next phase, the 3rd phase here, folks. Just gonna wait for them to sit tight.
Ooh, ow.
And Data Pet has unfortunately decided they will not be joining us for the interview, but get your GGs out there for them, folks. That was an excellent race. Ravis is going to have to be careful there. They're down to a single heart to finish off this Ganon fight.
Very well done for Ravis. He, the item dash to get that final silver arrow hit.
Definitely a great show of execution by all these runners. Get your GGs out there for Ravis, folks. Just that 1x3 bridge crossing to get themselves into the end of this race. And I can announce that they have finished this race in 17th with a 1:50.42, and we should hopefully be joined by them in just a moment.
Well, in the meantime, Durand is entering Turtle Rock.
The map is in the big chest of Swamp Palace. They get that confirmation, as they're going to go ahead back through Turtle Rock and pick up their bow and ice rod, and finally find their way toward the end of this seed. As we go ahead and finish this out, I want to give a shout out to our trackers, Relkin and Wolfman2000, as well as my co-commentator David123. It's been a lot of fun so far. Ravis should be up here in just a moment.
And I agree, it has been fun, and, you know, hopefully with time I'll get better, but hey, gotta start somewhere, right?
Absolutely, and we've now been joined in the chat by Ravis. GG's to you.
Hey, that was a beautiful item dash for the final silver kill, by the way.
Just a moment before their mic seems to not want to like them right now. Durand is making their way through Turtle Rock.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, we found him,
hey,
Ravis. GG's.
GG.
Hey.
Thanks for the fire dash thing, whatever.
Yes, it's beautiful, man.
So I have to compliment you. There was the one, while part of the seed may have baited you and eluded you for a while, you were the only one to find that mirror hint.
Yeah, of course, that was a god tier play, and it turns out to be a debate tier play. Because nothing was locked by the mirror.
True that nothing was blocked by the mirror except for the crystal you needed to complete the game.
Yes, I had the flute left side swamp, which absolutely didn't block anything. If I would have had the mids, I could have skipped that stupid book on Morphtula, but the mids, fortunately, were in desert. So yeah, I think probably nobody took any mirror location, I think.
No, it's just that unfortunate that it's not often that you find moths blocking books. But when they do, sometimes it's just that's the end of your seed, and it just doesn't feel that great. But still, an awesome display of execution by you there.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, honestly, I got the hammer right in the back of Skullwoods, and the world is open, so there's no reason I'm gonna do more from that point. Even if there's still an item, it could have been so many things. And I mean, in the end, when I saw the book, I was like, the book? Okay, that's interesting. And then I saw the mirror, the mids in desert, and was like, okay, could have you not been in desert, please? I mean, I got the flute from left side swamp. Come on, this can't be too hard.
But definitely that you were the only one to check that hint tile, and you don't. Is that something you often do? Is to run to that hint tile?
So there are different variations to check that hint. First of all, when you want to go to Catfish, take the whirlpool. It takes around 40 seconds to get back. to get to the hint and get back. So it's actually worthwhile going there. I timed that. The other one is if you don't check Ice Road Cave, maybe because you have the mirror or the flippers and wait for this so you can combine it, then it's actually a nice check as well. But yeah, I tend to do that. I was once in a tournament in the top 8, losing because of the pre-V30 version, and this hint said the bow requires the book, which was in sortless, and unfortunately that lost me the tournament, so I have a specific relationship with this hint. I guess that's the way you could describe it.
Definitely cannot blame you for making that further play, as Duran does make our check of the Mimic Cave, which we unfortunately know is nothing. Dataplet was neither of you were able to actually check that location while you were making your way through. Alright, so while we got you here, Ravis, what's coming up next what's coming up soon with you?
We have a German tournament right now running. Actually, I got debated by the mirror. I got debated in my last best of 3 versus the lane. Could have at least taken 1 game of him, but unfortunately, a fire rod in the big chest and thieves down is not enough if the bow's in pod.
Of course, the bow's in pod.
Yeah, for sure.
But sometimes the E's are just too strong.
Yep.
But definitely, still well done to make it up as far into that tournament as you go forward. You're just going to go through some dailies from here on, or are you looking at some of the other upcoming funds?
I think I'm going to go on with the dailies and the weeklies. Maybe a bit less right now because we have a tournament running, and it's like game by game. At least that's what it feels like. But I'm definitely gonna stay with the dailies here and there, and if this is gonna cool down a bit because I may be going out or just waiting for other opponents to finish, I might be joining the dailies more often again.
Well, awesome. Definitely, GG's out to you. Great execution.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to say?
Well, thanks for you guys, of course, for commentating. Welcome for tracking and restreaming. I think chat was amazed by some things they saw on the restream. Not specifically because of me, but I mean, we got really good boys like GFE and all the good guys on the restream. So, guess I'm gonna watch that, and thank you all.
Well, thank you, and hey, that was a great run, man.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Alright, so you're welcome to hang out if you wish, or you can make your way out. Thank you so much, as we have Duran here taking care of their Trinex fight.
Did we find butter?
No one has found
we
the
have
butter
not
store.
found butter.
I'm going to guess that it's probably hiding in somewhere deeper into Ganon's Tower, as that was a super quick GT.
I mean, I guess nobody checked Meyer. There was no reason.
Actually, Duran followed the Meyer thread.
Oh, so he had the mirror before the book as well?
He was trying to clear through. He cleared through everything except for going to Turtle Rock.
Oh, didn't he? So wait, but didn't he read the desert end?
I'm curious if he did, or he's just thinking maybe not.
Because that was the Ice Road hint in Turtle Rock. I mean, how often did we see Bow and Laser Bridge? That name a better left story, right?
True that. It's just that sometimes rando's gonna rando. If you think you've missed something, I think perhaps, or maybe it's just one of the times where maybe it slips your mind.
Yeah, can happen.
And you go through and just think, well, what's left to check through? And he did see that he did get the hint of the flute being on left side swamp, which may have
I guess
been...
that was an ice or in Meyer.
That was an ice.
Ice,
Okay.
yeah.
That's unfortunate. He got baited as well, but on a different kind of bait. So yeah, I wonder what or how Super Nintendo routed this. I mean, that was a massive time for first place, I gotta admit. Even if you got the book all early, even if you checked the hint, that was an extremely good time. Like, he had to go into desert before going pod or something.
Perhaps just
Well, he probably dipped into like a cup. He may have dipped into like pendants.
So what I'm thinking, what I'm kind of seeing as an ideal route for someone that to hit, he starts out the same way Dataplet did. He did through Kakariko Village and then went through the South Store and said, you know, I'm doing Aga, and then he runs straight into Skull Woods and clears that out, and grabs the book and the hammer, clears through Thieves Town, and then picks up their boots, and because the boots were in Thieves Town, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
There were invulnerable chests up there.
All right. So then he grabs his boot. So he walks out of there. He's got boots and book. This game. The game is screaming Desert Palace at me right now. So I go through and I'm like, oh, I have Titan's Mitts now.
And a hint where the ice rod is, and you probably I don't remember exactly where Flippers and Fire Rod were.
The Flippers
Fire Rod was early. Fire Rod was pretty early. It was
Fire Rod was an escape.
Yeah. Fire Rod is escape. Yeah.
But
Fire Rod was in oh darn.
Flippers were in Stumpy.
Stumpy, yeah, that's right. Nice. Stumpy.
So yeah, it actually makes sense because Desert Palace was the only dungeon that you could full clear after Thieves Town. Because no mitts for ice, no bow for pot. I mean, people could get tempted to go even then to pot in Eastern, but without the mirror, you probably won't do that.
Perhaps
I can see that working. And if you go up the mountain to the book to the ice road location, you're probably in go mode.
Because if he then out of Thieves Town decides, you know what, I've got everything for the only thing I can fully complete right now is Desert. I'm just gonna gamble that this is where I need to go. Pays off with the Titan's Mitts, and you get the Ice Rod hint. You're going straight up to Turtle Rock, and now that, like you said, that's go mode.
Also, after Turtle Rock, he's probably just in case Spike Cave, and that's his go mode mirror.
Well, yeah, because at that point, well, you're able to clear the entire mountain in one shot.
Yeah.
If you have the mitts.
Yeah, so if you go to Desert and grab the mitts, you're one-shotting the...
So people went to Aga right before doing Mountain?
Yes.
What? We had hookshot in the church. How can you leave Death Mountain? There's like 10 items.
The that was the read Dataplet made. They went straight out of...
Yeah, they went straight for it.
Yeah, as soon as they got the Moon Pearl on the south side, they're like, nope, I'm going to Aga.
That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy.
It's a risk, but hell, I mean, it worked.
I mean, we just needed a hammer or gloves, and I mean, even I gambled, like, don't go to Zorak, don't go to Sikit and Agina, and I was like, man, there's only one item we need for another Dark World access, and wow, respect data, man. That's something you can only do in dailies. That's not something you want to do in 1v1.
Right.
It is indeed a pretty decent gamble. While we take a moment here, I'll shout out Leslie Pro at 18th place with 1:57.56, Asandres 316 in 19th with 2 hours and 5 seconds. I'll look at there's a comment added in the SRL chat by Superman Taylor saying, "So used to routing things terribly, nice to remember what it feels to God route." It definitely feels like we pulled out their God route that they went through.
Yeah.
Also, calling out a comment that one of our other interviewees mentioned. Seriously, this isn't the Plando tournament math, girl.
Wait, so Duran doesn't have his silvers? Wait, where were silvers at? Wait, silvers were at
Basement of Hera. So I'd imagine,
right.
Did they go through there? I admittedly will have to. No, he's not using them, so he never picked up silvers. So he's looking at a silverless Ganon now.
Hey, but it makes this, you know, the man, I'm drawing a blank right now. I'm sorry. Bleh.
With the Tempered Sword in hand, it shouldn't be that bad. And with that final crystal, I'm not exactly sure where the timer is, as Durand isn't running one currently, but they've found they are on their way up to Ganon's Tower now. Hopefully Mercy will put themselves to them, and they'll be heading to the left side first, like our other runners. Just a mountain and a tower climb between Ravis and the end of this race. If you're still out there with us, give Durand your energy. This is a tough seed that just wasn't going their way, but they're still fighting through and still putting on an excellent execution. I want to shout out, for those of you anyone's left that may have missed it during all the chaos, Ravis nailed the Ice Palace spin clip on the first try.
Yes.
Which I unfortunately missed while I was running solo and having 4 screens to count up, but if nothing else, that bit of execution has been, that was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, Durand finishing up there, heading on over to the Turtle Rock portal in order to get access to Dark Mountain.
So, if he finds Butter Sword in, Ganon's Tower, it takes how many spins? It's like 28 or something?
I merely don't remember the numbers on Ganon. Perhaps someone in chat has those numbers for me.
Yes. I've never done a silverless Ganon, so I don't know exactly.
I tried it once and it did not go well.
I'm too chicken to try that.
I am bad. I am definitely all talk.
I think it's 28, if I'm not mistaken. All right, okay, he's going to the right. Here we go.
I'm definitely all talk here.
All right, so let's see if we can find Butter. Oh, there you go. Alright, so it's continuing through right side.
And we have Rizzo with a 20th place finish with 2 hours, 6 minutes, and 48 seconds.
GG, dude.
Definitely a rather rude seed with a couple item locations.
Yes.
All finishes are good at this. All finishes are good for a seed like this.
Yep. Oh. Oh no. Oh, that is terrible.
But definitely GG's to Durand for gutting out this seed.
Absolutely. If that would have happened to me, I would have been done.
I would be crying in the corner at this moment.
Yeah. Rethinking my life.
All the decisions led up to this, but for Durand, there will be nothing but triumph at the end of this.
Oh, get it! Oh, you got it, buddy. Oh, get it over there.
Those are the rudest thing ever.
God, they are.
Give hug.
Here we go.
Return
Let's see Butter.
The hug.
Butter.
10 bombs.
Damn it! I mean, darn it.
And he's been yellow carded.
That was my fault. I meant to say darn.
Shoutouts to Old Man Sunshine with a 21st place finish of 2 hours, 7 minutes, and 54 seconds. Alright, and there's our 5 rupees on the torch.
Where was Butter?
It's in a part of Ganon's Tower that we're never going to see. That's just what it is. Alright, now that's, after this chest, it's going to be Durand picking up their big key, and they're going to head up the tower. Just a few more fights between Durand and the end of this race. Definitely shout outs to all of the runners running this race, as well as the Speed Gaming staff all along the way. As he makes his tower climb, we'll look ahead, as this is the final, just to look, as of right now, if you're still sticking out there and looking for something else to watch after this before you head off to bed, the Wind Waker Randomizer is happening right now on Speed Gaming 5. That's Chevy versus Devster for the Wind Waker Randomizer Spring Tournament. Looking forward to tomorrow. there is an early morning run of Kirby's Dream Land on Speed Gaming 1. A lot of the schedule has not been decided. One thing to keep an eye on is for at 2 o'clock tomorrow, I believe. Make sure I got my calendar on the right settings here. Yep, at 2 p.m. Eastern, there is a daily race that is a Spoiler Open. So that'll be like the Spoiler Tournament, which is coming up next month, as well as more of the Francophone and German tournaments will be on their respective language channels. More Wind Waker Randomizer, Magic the Gathering Arena in the evening. There's some of the Ultimate Decathlon number 6, GD7 with a twist. Some Messenger out there for you. More Wind Waker Randomizer, some Portal 2. And some Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer Highlander, which should be a lot of fun to watch. As well as some Super Mario Brothers 3. So tomorrow looks like a fun day in Rando.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to the Super Mario 3.
It's definitely a lot of fun to see. Looking forward. There's some Ocarina of Time Randomizer out there later this week on Thursday. More of the Francophone and German tournaments. A Z1 Metroid 1 Randomizer later on Thursday. Looking forward to Friday. We've got German and French tournaments as well. Super Mario Bros. 3. Lots of that. Some Super Metroid Weekly Any %. Looking forward to this weekend. On Saturday, we've got some Ori the Blind Forest, as well as some Ultimate Decathlon number 4 out there somewhere in the Messenger and VVVVVV. Say that name fast enough. So lots of good stuff coming up in the next weeks on Speed Gaming, as well as we should see soon enough. The Link to the Past Randomizer League should be starting up, I believe, this coming Sunday. I don't know if it has been picked up by Speed Gaming yet, but they'll be out there somewhere. As that's the Moldorm 2 fight down, just about down for Duran there. If you are a speaker of Portuguese, German, Spanish, or French, we have channels dedicated for those languages for speedrunning. Speedrunning is a universal language where if there's a game that you really like, chances are somebody's running it fast. And it would be, and I imagine there's a great community out there for this. Speed Gaming is very much an inclusive community. So if you love a game, you can get out there, you can start a race with some randoms, you'll make some friends, and maybe this will be you on the restream someday. Hanging out there, or hovering with Andy, or having to fight your way through Zelda 1 with Fred Coughlin. I mean, there's so much out there, opportunities for there. Find the game you love and come join us.
Absolutely.
As well as don't forget to give a follow to the Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 through 5 channels, as well as the ALTTP Randomizer and ALTTP Randomizer 2 through 5 channels. So there's going to be a lot of fun stuff coming up in the coming months. There is no major official tournament until after SGDQ, but there's still lots of Link to the Past Randomizer to be found, or maybe you just head over to our Link to the Past or ALTTPR.com and roll a seed yourself and give this a try. If you see what you like what you see, give it a shot. It all has to start somewhere, and sometimes it's just rolling that first seed.
Bother not to check that chest for the butter. Just gonna go right through it.
I don't know if that was checked for the entirety of this game, but I could be wrong.
I think Dedaplet checked it.
All right. They're heading over to their second required geometry test of this seed. You're only getting the single there, it would appear. This would be a nice setup for the double there.
Oh.
Didn't quite get it.
I don't think so. I think the I-frame got him.
It did not quite get it.
Yeah, it's a double.
Alright, well, so I believe that should be just 2 more or 1 more. And that's
maybe it wasn't.
Yeah, that was the end of Aga 2. Yeah, right, the king of all bacon is loose for Duran. To give them their energy, they're heading into the Ganon fight. 5 hearts, 3/4 of a tank of magic. I don't know how many potions they have. Also, this is going to be a silverless fight for them.
Yes.
And there's, once again, a slug facts with our friend Ganon. Right,
So if I'm not mistaken, with the red mail, the fireballs still do the same damage?
The fire bats will do, I believe, 1 heart?
Yeah.
Because no, actually, I think their base is 6.
Okay, okay.
I could be mistaken. Oh, there, it took 2 hearts. Yeah, their base is. I think. I think everything on Ganon is 8. So 2 hearts are half of 8.
All right, I got you now.
Ooh, cutting it close with that fire.
Close.
There's the game. All right, so we're into phase 3 there. If only Ganon and hold still, Durant will be into the final phase. Definitely needs to land this. Definitely needs to hit this torch glitch.
And he got it.
Well done. All right, here it comes. That's the first spin.
Second.
Relights the torch.
Third.
Excellent timing on these sword spins.
Excuse me, I've done this a few times.
Alright, follow it up, get that spin in. Well done, doesn't fall. Cutting it close with that fire bat. Has a lot of magic to work with if they keep using their lamp to light this torch. That half magic. Don't hit by the fire bat lighting the torch. Just mistiming that spin. Shouldn't be too many more to go.
Nope. There we go.
And down
Very
goes
nice.
Ganon. A well-executed, what a well-executed silverless fight. Get your GGs in chat there, folks, for Durand. Going ahead and putting the nail in Ganon's coffin. I am so happy to announce Durand has finished in 22nd place. 2 hours, 17 minutes, and 7 seconds. GGs to you. What a race for us, folks. I'm so happy that I got to spend this time with you guys enjoying this great game. So what are your thoughts on your first experience here in the commentary booth there, David?
It's a learning experience, but I liked it.
I'm glad to hear it.
And I was glad to spend it with you, and thank you for the patience with my computer resetting and everything. And
yeah, GG's. I mean, shout-outs to those of us like me and David who are volunteering their time to put these streams on for you, especially the Speed Gaming staff, those restreamers who never get enough love, I think. I think that the restreamer should get put in the commentary command, but that's just me.
Absolutely, I agree.
So we should be getting them in here shortly. I think we just need to push the finish button. All right, and it comes now. Team Money 7 and finishing in 23rd with 2:19.21. Our tracker's just being a little bit slow with receiving the duns and sending it over. Just a little bit of disconnect between the tracker and the bot. There we go. We should hopefully be joined by Durand in just a moment, folks. In fact, here they are. Durand, GG's.
GG, dude.
GG.
I definitely have to... The first thing I'm going to do is say, holy crap, that Ice Palace spin clip.
Yes. That was a thing of beauty, man.
I mean, the seed logic may not have been kind to you, but your execution was spot on. That is... it's the first time I've seen that happen. I've seen that in a live race.
That's the first time I've ever seen that happen, so...
Thanks. Yeah, I was trying to, like, at the beginning of the race, I wanted to try some different things, like going to Aga first, which paid off because it was required, but after that, things started falling apart. Especially once I didn't realize I had the fire rod the whole time.
Oh, was that why you weren't going to turn around?
Yep.
That explains it, okay.
That's why.
So that was the one thing we couldn't understand is why you weren't heading to Turtle Rock when you did.
Yep. Just mistracked it.
If I'm not mistaken, did you get the ice rod, the clue also?
I did get that. That was the only hint that was actually helpful. Everything else was like, oh yeah, you just came from Thieves Town. Did you get the unique item there?
Oh, that's terrible, man. But hey, I mean, you did great, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say there was another useful hint out there, but you weren't going to find it. The hint in the Dark World Ice Rod Cave location told you the mirror location.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no way.
Yep.
Interesting that Revis did decide to make that dive, because they have some history with that particular hint location. But overall, execution was great. I mean, sometimes just mistracking happens and randomizer can randomizer, but overall, it was a great seed.
Yeah, oh, and I definitely got baited by the flute hint. Bad.
Absolutely.
Sometimes those hints can have great information or can send you in the wrong direction.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But anything else? Anything coming up for you in the near future, Durand?
Just more randomizer seeds if I can. Trying to do as many as I can, between life and such, but you know, it was a good race. Even if I didn't place so well, it was still an interesting race.
Well, with this seed, that's completely understandable.
I mean, I think the general consensus is the mirror location was extremely rude.
Yes, definitely.
As well as the book, if I add the book location.
Yep, that one really got to me, especially the book.
Especially when you consider how much of the world it was locking, holding the Titan's mitts hostage.
Yep.
All right. Any last comments? I think we're just about ready to send this off into the night.
No, that pretty much does it. Great way to end the night. Run around everywhere.
Yeah.
But you finished strong. You keep your held up high. You made it through this. You made it through the end of the seed, and that's definitely something to be proud of.
I never forfeit. Ever.
And sometimes you just have to fight your way through it. Well, thank you so much. I want to give a shout out one last time to the volunteers that keep the lights on. For those of you that support Speed Gaming, especially shout outs to the runners who like Durand, put themselves out there for all of us to watch and enjoy and fight their way through these seeds and make us sometimes feel glad that we aren't the ones playing them, but we don't dwell in negative. We want to go through the positive. The execution was great. That Ice Palace spin clip, I'm still like mind blown on.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm just glad that we got the opportunity to share this little bit of time together. And I'll send us off into the night. Any last comments from you, David or Durand?
For my first experience, this has been pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I can only get better from here, and I really appreciate watching you runners run this race and executing the way you did. You guys are awesome. No matter what place you finish, you still finished. So
How is it that you get to the top of Ganon's tower? Practice, practice, practice.
Absolutely.
All right, with that, that is David123. I am Bungie to the tree. This is Speed Gaming. Keep your Twitch chats, keep your Twitch locked into Speed Gaming. Lots of fun stuff coming up. And for that, I am Bungie to the tree. Good night and good rando.